So just to start off with just a little bit in terms of just clarification of where things are currently at, just so people have got a bit of a feel for things around that. So with that in mind, there's just a couple of things on the screen there. You'll see those. And I say that there is really aimed at, just giving you a bit of visibility with regards to the assistance, which most of you should already be aware of. But I say with that there, you can start to getting a bit of a flavour for the sort of financial assistance has been. We've covered a lot of this already, but it's just useful just for you kind of having a bit of oversight of it with regards to the grants as a starting point. So hopefully you start to see those filter through now. And I say also with regards to the loans, the government-backed loans, which are interest-free, you've got those there as well. And then also you've got the deferral of the VAT, the income tax payments, and the rates relief as well. But I say that's not the key point of focus there today. But I see we just thought we'd just start with a little bit of background, just so to refresh your memory, because I appreciate there's been that many things going on. So it gives you a bit of an opportunity just to see what sort of systems there is out there and other things to come as well. So everybody all right with that so far? Brilliant. Fab. So what I'll do is I'm not going to go to the chat box too much until the end. So we're probably going to focus about 20 minutes of content. Then we'll go to the other side of things after then, just to make sure I've obviously got everything sorted for you. And then if any queries which you don't resolve there today, we'll obviously kind of filter through as well. But it's just at least with that in mind, it gives you a bit of an idea for where things are at. So let's get onto the thick of the slides anyway there now, so you've got those. Right, so you've seen obviously grants to self-employed, but let's just talk a bit of context to say with regards to what we're looking at. So the grants, you will not need to repay these monies, unlike a loan. Sounds like a basic thing, but we do get asked that question. And they are all taxable. And they say all of that grant income which you may get is going to go down and be taxed on your income. Now, say with regards to, and this is the key point of focus there today, in terms of the income, in terms of support around that, there is an 80% limit on that, up to a maximum of £2,500 a month. Now, what's going to happen process-wise, just give you an overview before we'll get into the detail. It's currently looking at 3 months worth of support starting from March. So it's March, April, May. But it may well be extended with everything which is going on. But we're not expecting any payments to hit anybody's bank accounts until the start of June. So that's when, as say, people are likely to get that. They're likely to get it in one bulk sum. But also, let's probably just clarify just something for what is self-employment. Self-employment is sole traders and partners in a partnership. It is not limited companies. Limited companies are a totally separate thing. So this isn't what this presentation's about. So the conditions in terms of getting this 80% grant, and like I say, it's not a loan. You don't have to repay it, but it is taxable. So let's just focus on that bit there. So conditions: you must have submitted a personal tax return for 2018-19. You must still be trading in 2019-20, and as say, be intending to trade in 2020-2021. Now we say there's a few different things there, so it doesn't allow anybody that just kind of jumps in and dips straight out. It is focused. You don't have to rush in terms of getting us all of your 19-20 things and wait until that's submitted before you get it. You don't. It's based on the 2018-19, so they've already got a lot of the data there. But there are trading rules around that, hence to say it's worthwhile just clarifying that within that. Now also say the focus of this is whereby you are losing profits as a result of the lockdown. So that's one of the key things with regards to this, and that's where the government support is coming in. So that's what it's really aiming to prove, to show that it is there to support. Now, there are still things to be clarified. Again, I'll come on to that in a later slide. But that if your business is losing money or you haven't made a great deal of money, the grant's going to be a reflection of that. So just watch out for that. But there are some exceptions. So just watch out for these. Your trading profits must also not be more than £50,000. Now, with the greatest respect to any of our clients, to see we're a sole trader partnership and have profits exceeding £50,000, we wouldn't have you as a sole trader. But we do appreciate some of the people on this presentation there this morning may not be in that same position if they're not clients. But so just be wary of that. And the other really important thing is, in terms of the limits, your self-employment income must be more than half of your total income. Now, what you might be thinking that is, well, what do you mean? Well, there's a lot of people that have a full-time job alongside having self-employment income. So if that self-employment income does not calculate as being more than half of your total income, you won't fall within these grounds. You've got to be very, very careful for that. And the way it's going to look at it is it's either going to look at the 18-19 tax year, depending on when you've traded, or the average of the 2016-17, 2017-18, and 2018-19 tax years. So it's going to have a look at those periods with regards to making the calculation. So how much of the grant will you get? So Sam's kindly put together some examples in terms of where this is going to drop out at. And again, there's a link in our newsletter to the HMRC website, where again, I see there's some good examples on there. So it is going to look at the monthly average of the last 3 years' profits. So as I've said before, the 2016-17, the 2017-18, and the 2018-19. If you've not submitted tax returns for all 3 years, HMRC will calculate the grant based on one of the monthly average of 2 years, 17-18 and 18-19, or the monthly average of just 18-19. So don't worry if you haven't been trading for those 3 years. Don't worry if you haven't been trading for those 3 full years. There is adaptations to that HMRC are going to make. So Sam's just put together like a 3-year example there. So if you've got 16, 17, 18, 19, and 18, sorry, 18, 19, 17, 18, and 16, 17 profits there of 12, 10, and 14. The average of that's going to be £12,000 per year. They will claim 80% of that per month. So off the back of that, you're looking at about £800 per month being able to be claimed, because again, they're going to look at the monthly income off the back of that. So that's how the calculation is going to work. So let's have a look at another example. So 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, there's the figures there. Similar sort of thing. Average off the back, that's £33,000, would amount to £2,750 per month. But because the grant is capped at £2,500, you would only get £2,500. And that's what would filter through there. How to claim? You cannot make a claim yet. And the HMRC guidance is that mid-May, a system will be in place for this. And the claim will be made online, and the payments will be made in early June once claims are processed, with current guidance being that you will get paid a lump sum. Now, HMRC have been quite explicit with regard to this to not yet contact them. Again, I'm sure you can appreciate, obviously, they've got a deluge of things going on at their end at this point in time. And there's still a lot of guidance still to come with a lot of things. So as say, the system itself will be live, as say, hopefully mid-May. We will assist with this to help you get through the other side, because the claims aren't going to be made online. I would hope, but this is HMRC we're talking about here, I would hope that because they already have the data there is minimal effort needed to have the grant come through. But I'm sure there will be things missing on that. And a bit like the furlough, which comes about on Monday, I'm sure the systems are going to crash, given the volume that they're going to be very quickly trying to access this, because it's naturally it's horrible circumstances and people are desperate to get their hands on this money and are going to be made to wait until June to get it. So again, they're going to be pretty desperate to get those payments. But do not contact HMRC. We cannot offer any more guidance until we find what system's in place. But the whole purpose of today's presentation is really about the calculation of that figure to give you a bit of a feel for how that's going to drop through. So let's go on to deferral of tax payments, because again, there's something else which again floating under the radar a little bit. And as I say, with that there, it is something worthwhile bearing in mind, because I say a lot of people say if they are due to make a payment on account on the 31st of July, that is now deferred to 31st of January 2021. So you have got a little bit of leeway there, but again, it's a little bit further out, but it is worthwhile just recognising that. And then the final bit is obviously on the VAT side of things. If you're a sole trader or partnership and VAT registered, there was an automatic deferral with regards to the payments, though you must still submit your tax returns. What I'm recommending any business full stop does with regards to these payments is they stagger these payments. They take that payment, divide it by 12, and still make a monthly payment to eat away at that, provided they can afford to do so. I did see something just flash up on the chat box before, so I was going to focus on the slides before anything else here. Saying would copies of these slides be available? Yes, we will make them available. We're publishing all of our webinars on YouTube, because a few people have said, can I get copies afterwards? So we'll be doing that. And the final slide I've got here is just a bit of resource around that. So what I've tried to do with these webinars, I've tried to kind of split them a little bit so I can make it a bit more interactive so people can fire questions at me with regards to this. But I say, we will put these on YouTube, so just go onto YouTube, type in Graham Tennant Court, and you will see that the slides are there. But I'm going to open up the room to a certain extent there now and see what questions people might have. So I'm going to jump onto here, and then let's see what people want to throw at us. So any questions, give us a shout and let's see what I can do to help out. If you just chat questions wise, just put it straight in the chat box. And this is where sometimes things can go a little bit quiet. No questions at all so far. Just some generic ones, whilst hopefully people are having a think. It is a bit of an awful time here with regards to having to wait till mid-May for the system and clarification around that to come, and then you get the payment in June. What assistances are outside of this? There is the government-backed loan, so that is something else you can consider, and I'm strongly suggesting clients do consider this. But also ring on your suppliers. So EDF supply the energy in our offices, and I rang them yesterday because we pay over £350 a month. They've reduced that down to £10 a month. So go down all of your costs and say, think about if you're not getting a service whilst this is happening, see what best you can do. I mean, that's why us as an accountancy firm, it's a presentation I'm doing later on there this morning, to see we're pivoting the business to see how best we can support them. So I've just seen a question there. Right, with VAT, yes. VAT returns, you submit them as you normally do. So there's no change with regards to VAT submissions. They get submitted, and it's just the payment where HMRC will not chase you for making the payment. Now, some people say, me personally, the approach I've adopted, because my VAT return is 31st of March, June, September, and December. I have submitted my VAT return already, and I will make 1/12 of that payment by the end of this month. So that's how I'm working the VAT. Other people might say, well, look, I need that money until the self-employment money comes through, and instead I'll pay that quarterly. Absolutely fine. Depends on what suits you. Some people might want to pay it annually. That's okay as well. But just for me, it's all about evening cash flow, and I don't want to have that just sat there. I would rather eat away at that. I mean, another option is just put it into a savings account and just leave it sat there. And that is something else with regards to that. Question there, I've also seen, slightly confused with the term trading profit. What's the difference between that and turnover? Right. Ignore turnover. Turnover is not going to be the figure which is going to be used for the purposes of this. And with regards to trading profit, I want to almost kind of summarize it in terms of you thinking taxable profit. The figure for which HMR, and this is based on current guidance, can I just stress as well, the figure which HMRC ultimately use as a basis for you paying the tax on that, so that's your turnover, less all of your costs, that is currently deemed to be the figure upon which the calculation is going to be made. So based on the calculations there before, say you had £10,000 income, £8,000 costs, that would leave a £2,000 figure, and on those £2,000 you would get, and let's assume it's just one full tax year, keep it nice and simple, that would be, say, £2,000 profit for that full year, and obviously we divide that by 12 to get the monthly figure, and you get 80% of that. And that's how that would work. With regards to losses, if you've had losses, yes, those do obviously need to get considered as well. And there's a link on the HMRC website for how they are currently proposing to take a look at those. But again, to say that the link is if the HMRC website shows you how they're going to treat those. That may well change, so I don't want to commit to that. But I say they have got a very specific bit. So if you just follow the link on our newsletter, they've got a bit reference losses on there for what they're going to do with that. Any more with regards to questions? What I would just say is, obviously, the whole purpose of us doing these webinars for clients and contacts and people that have just decided to book on is what we're doing is we're trying to just put this out there so people can get the message out there in bulk. So in terms of that, it allows us to get it out there as quickly as possible. If you've got any queries beyond this webinar or other things which come to light and things which you're not unsure of, you can just come back to us and just run through any queries with the guys in the offices. They'll quite happily go through things with you. But we thought this was the quickest and most efficient of getting things out there. And Sam's just sent us a message there. Just obviously, he's just extracted the value for the information from the website. In terms of losses, the deduction from the profits in the average calculation. So they will obviously kind of factor those through. But so the details on the HMRC link. But yeah, losses do get factored in. Any more questions whatsoever? Quite a quiet one on the question front. Was that all right for everybody? Is it? And again, you just want to put in the chat boxes. Is that covered the main things for which we know at the minute. Has that been useful for people? Is there anything else which we can do, or do people feel a little bit happier in the knowledge of what we've shared this morning? And like I said, there will be more guidance coming. There will be more things in newsletters. But like I said, we will take the lead where necessary to make sure that obviously that financial support comes through to business owners as soon as it physically can do, without error as well. Because it's one of these things where, yes, we could let clients used to say, right, you go and do it yourself. We ethically don't consider that being the right thing to do. Instead, we'd prefer to give clients assistance on that and help them get the right figure as soon as possible. So yeah, but is that being useful for people? Brilliant. Right. Well, if there's no other questions, I will leave it there. But I see the guys in the office, they're not in the office, so we're now over several offices. So all work remotely. The support for you there, as it's always been, as great as it's ever been. So we're right on top of this. Every new announcement, we're keeping a close eye on this. So Sam is taking charge of that. Please feel free to get in touch any more queries, and I see the guys in the office will support you however necessary. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the call. And if there's anything more you need, just get in touch. So thank you again and take care. Thank you.